What do shows like Money Heist, Breaking Bad, and Avatar: The Last Airbender have in common? It's not just the plot twists or the engaging action scenes. The reason why we actually care about them is the stakes. If the plan in Money Heist doesn't work, then someone might die. If Walter White doesn't actually manage to sell enough, then he might not be able to provide for his family. And in Avatar, if Aang doesn't master all four elements, then he could not defeat the Fire Lord and the world could be taken over. Right? It's the stakes that get us engaged in the journey. And as entrepreneurs, if we don't create stakes in our offers, in our sales process, in our lead gen systems, then people don't take action. Think about it. No one really buys anything because it's nice to have. They buy because the stakes are too powerful for them not to. For example, someone might buy a nice car, maybe even outside of their own budget, but the stakes are, I don't want to look bad in front of this friendship group. But it's the stakes that actually drive the action. It might be someone buys a business course because they want to learn how to make more money because the stakes of being poor are just too much for them. Now here's the key to it. Creating stakes doesn't mean using sleazy pressure tactics to get someone to buy your thing. Real stakes already exist. People already have a desire to achieve different outcomes and avoid different pains. Our job as entrepreneurs is to shine a spotlight on what they could gain if they take action or what they might lose if they don't do anything. Now let me give you a personal example of mine. So I joined a mastermind while I was still in university, and the mastermind itself cost £150 a month. Now bear in mind, I'm a uni student, okay? So I don't have that much money. And I remember, for me, I was really considering whether or not I should buy, and I was sitting there and I thought about it for a few days, and when I sat down I realized that I don't know a single millionaire, and me not knowing any millionaires to me was an obvious sign that if you don't know anyone that's a millionaire, if you don't know how people become millionaires, then it's pretty obvious that you're never going to become a millionaire too. So for me, the reason why I went ahead with joining the mastermind was because in my mind I said, well, if I want this thing, if I want to be a millionaire, which I did, if I want to be a millionaire, then I have to get around other millionaires. And that was the stakes. And in my mind, I decided that if I'm not around other millionaires, I'm never going to get there myself. So the choice was obvious to me. But it was the stakes of what was at risk that allowed me to make a decision to spend £150 a month on mentorship, on a mastermind, that even entrepreneurs today, even entrepreneurs with years and years of experience, wouldn't do that. The reason why is because the stakes were high enough for me to make that decision and pull the trigger. So that's the secret. The stakes were in my mind. They're already there. They already exist. But with the right prompting, with the right question, we can bring those stakes to the forefront of your prospect's mind. Think about what your prospects actually want. They probably want good health. They probably want freedom. They probably want a family. All these things they already want, right? They already want this. It's about how do I bring that out? And how do I make sure that they're thinking about that when I'm speaking to them? There's a quote that goes something along the lines of, people don't take action in good times. They take action when the pain of remaining the same outweighs the pain of action. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few different questions and how you can apply stakes within your business. And if you don't apply stakes, the thing I'm going to tell you over and over again is that you're going to see a lack of urgency from your leads. You ever have those leads that are like, I'm really interested in going ahead, like I like what you're offering, I'm interested in actually buying, and they're quite engaged, but then they don't buy and they just kind of like teeter off. I can almost guarantee you, if you had higher stakes, they would buy. Or if you had higher stakes, they would potentially give you a no quicker. Either way, you'd actually get to a decision in a much better way, rather than just kind of having this like amorphous, weird, slow period where things just don't seem to be moving. And I know this because I've been there. I've faced that with a lot of clients, and it's because there was no real urgency in terms of like getting people to cross the line. There was no real urgency in terms of the benefits or the pains that they would experience if they didn't take action. So that's what we started to change within our process, and I'm encouraging you to do the same. So here's some practical guidance on how you can actually do that. So the first question I've got is, what happens if nothing changes over the next 12 months? And often people start thinking about like, really immediate things. If nothing changes over the last 12 months, let me give you an example for what we see with a lot of our clients. Nothing changes over the next 12 months. I'm not going to be able to make as much money. I might have to quit the business. I might have to go and get a job. I might have to sacrifice my health more. I'm going to feel really tired. I'm going to feel burnt out. Yeah. Like immediately people are like, okay, this is something negative that I want to move away from. Okay. Then the flip side is like, what are the opportunities, and this is the second question, what are the opportunities that you miss out on if you stay where you are? So this is getting them to think about like one step further ahead. Okay, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna feel tired, I'm gonna feel burnt out, I might have to quit my job and stuff like that. But then what's after that? What opportunities are you gonna miss out on? Well, if I was successful, right? If I did manage to grow the business and make more money, then I could, go on holiday, I could travel more, I could, buy that car that I always wanted to buy, I could show off to my friends. These are the opportunities that they'd miss out on, and that again is stakes. That's already in the client's mind. And if you're not asking your prospects this, what do you think is going to happen? They're not going to realize this stuff. They're not going to realize it as much as if they actually communicate it to you. So that's the second question. The third question that we ask is, how will this impact the people around you? And this is a really, really good one, because it's not just like second order consequences, but it's socially, how does it impact you? And you'll be absolutely shocked at how truly social we are as humans. We really like to either follow the herd or stand out. Weirdly, we like to do one of those two things. So we either really want to be like everyone else, and that's when you see products that have got loads of reviews, it's like, come on, be like everyone else. Buy this product, have an amazing experience. And then sometimes you've got I want to be stand out. So if I'm thinking about getting a new car, I want it to be flashy, I want it to be really nice, I want it to be big, I want it to show how much money that I have. People want one of these two things, and you can use both of them socially to encourage action. Yeah. So for example, if I'm speaking to, actually, let's switch up the example. Let's say that I'm going to choose something which is weight loss, right? Let's say I'm a PT and I'm saying I'm trying to raise the stakes. If I'm saying you want to be like everyone else, I can say I've just worked with 60 people that all went through my program and lost this much weight. Don't you want to be like one of them? This is Sam, this is Andrew, this is Steve, whatever, right? You encourage them to be like other people. And that raises the stakes, because it's you don't want to be someone that doesn't take this program, because then you're going to just be by yourself, right? Again, raises the stakes. And it's true, by the way, you don't want to be horrible when you're saying this, but you want to make sure that you're raising the stakes. And then the flip side of it is you want to be exceptional. It's okay, you can use socials. Be look around your friendship group. None of them are where you want to be. So why would you listen to them? You want to be something different. You want to be exceptional. So then this is the way. You've got to take actions that aren't in line with what everyone else is doing. You got to do something different. You got to do something special. And then you can use that psychology to also, again, raise the stakes. Otherwise, you're going to end up just being like them. Right? So you can be like your broke friendship group, right? You can be like your broke friends that don't take life seriously, that can't afford to pay the bills, that struggle whenever rent's due. Or you can be like the 1%. It's socially, people think, well, I know I want to be like that kind of group. So that again raises the stakes. Okay? So move on to the next question. The next question is, what's at stake within your business? And the reason why I like this question is because instead of putting the stakes on the prospects, it actually puts the stakes on you. So for example, one of the stakes that you could use is that this is a one-time offer. This price is only going to be in today. Or the price is going to go up within the next 7 days. Or you can say, this is a limited time thing that comes with X, Y, and Z bonuses that you're not going to get after the next 24 hours. So if you want to make a decision, you have to make it now. Again, raising the stakes. Yeah, you're making people feel like they need to take action. I see one of my mentors or coaches does this. He says look, if you want to join my kind of program, I'll also give you a free half day in person, but that'll only happen if you sign the dotted line within the next 7 days. So immediately in the prospect's mind, they're thinking, well, I really want an in-person strategy day, and if I sign in the next 7 days, I get that. So I'm more compelled to actually do it. I'm more compelled to take that action. But it's interesting because we can fabricate or we can make up our own kind of stakes. So for example, this is a real stake that we have. We have a maximum of 15 partnerships that we can take on at any time, right? It's just inconvenient. It's just really difficult for us to take on any more. So often if I'm speaking to a prospect, I'll say look, we've got 12 partnerships at the moment. We can only take a maximum of 15, and I've got 8 sales calls this week. So if you want to go ahead and you know that this is what you want to do, I strongly recommend that we take some action, we get something sorted now. If not, you might be waiting another 2-3 months for us to actually open another slot up within our partnership. So these are the kind of things that I want you to think about when it comes to your business. How can I use what's going on in here to raise the stakes? It could be that you're a PT and you're saying, well, I've only got this many supply or this much supply of these free supplements that I give with my workouts. So if you want to get in and you want to get these things, then you have to join now, right? Or I've only got this much time, whatever, right? You get what I'm saying? Stakes, you can manufacture them based on what's possible for your own business too. All in all, stakes, what it really comes down to is great storytelling. If you can collect the right information and build the right story in your prospect's mind, you can get them to take almost any action that you want. So I strongly recommend, if you're an entrepreneur, learn the skill of storytelling, learn the skill of creating real stakes, because that's what's going to allow you to get so many more people in at a much more urgent rate and allow you to convert more people as well. So that's it from me on this IWIN video. If you guys did enjoy this, then definitely check out one of these two videos as well, because I'm sure you'll get a lot of value from them too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.